I'm Jerry Gettle with Comstock-Ferre and Company here in Old Weathersfield. And we just really love this old business and the history behind it, the stories. We're having the festival here today, and it's just incredible the amount of people that came from different places. We've had people from Wyoming that have showed up today for the event, all over New York and Pennsylvania, all over New England, and all over the northeastern states. So it's really exciting to meet people and hear their stories about Comstock, and also the new interest in seed saving and good food and non-GMO. People are really getting into wanting to know what's in their food, whether it's genetically engineered or whether it's organic, and also whether it's locally grown. People are wanting locally grown food, and this is Weathersfield is basically kind of the beginning of local food in America. I mean, this is where people really started farming in the Northeast, one of the major areas for farming to take place with the pioneers. So it was really fun to bring this history back to life, and that's what we're trying to do here.
That's
working
great.
on putting in gardens throughout the property and bringing back the old seed varieties that were, once much part of the culture here, like the red onion and so many other vegetables and fruits that were once common in New England, both among Native Americans and also the settlers from Europe. So we're working on bringing these varieties and getting them back into daily use on the kitchen tables of Americans. The other thing we're working on right now is actually to make Comstock-Ferre and Weathersfield Seed Gardens in time into a nonprofit organization that will basically be about education, teaching people about where their food comes from, basically in the text of the early settlers and the people that founded this seed company, the Comstocks and the Beldens and the Willards and so forth. We want to have interpreters on the grounds basically telling people as if they were the original people and showing them the original plants and the original ways to prepare the plants, seed saving, and everything that would have been happening, whether it was political or environmental or building techniques and food cooking techniques and preserving techniques, anything that would have been part of the culture at the time. We want to bring that to life as far as the food culture goes, and have a way for school kids to be able to come through any day and have somebody to show them and give them an educational tour, as well as any other groups, whether it's garden clubs or just people interested in where their food comes from.
Mm-hmm. Great.
Also host almost weekly different lectures and films and so forth to educate people about gardening and their food, whether it's learning how to take care of fruit trees or preserving. And you can come on down and learn about all sorts of different subjects related to gardening and farming, and check into the store and pick up a schedule. And almost year round we have something going on from time to time, so we invite people to come on out. And we're also looking for ideas and people with knowledge and the history of the place here. We're always looking for people to share their stories and learn more about what happened and how we should take this business back to the past.
That's great. Great thing you're doing. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Siskins. I'm with Food and Water Watch, and we're here to let you know that we have a right to label our genetically engineered food. GMOs have been in our food stream for about 20 years. Some people are starting to report significant health problems, and when they take GMOs out of their diet, their arthritis symptoms, their gastrointestinal symptoms, their allergy symptoms go away. So we would like to get our food labeled so that more consumers are knowledgeable about the issue. There's currently bills in Connecticut, and we need you to contact your legislator, both your senator and your representative, your governor, and let them know that you want meaningful legislation. Unfortunately, on Thursday night, the Speaker of the House completely decimated good legislation that was going to give consumers a right to know. Instead, the exclusion clauses and amendments that he made basically sent a Trojan horse out of the House of Representatives.
Now, why would somebody do that?
Special interest. Basically, the interests that were represented by the amendments on the bill were big pharmaceutical, big agriculture, and big chemical. Mm-hmm. And citizens in Connecticut are mad as heck, and they are standing up. They're saying we're not going to take it anymore. I've been here for 5 hours today. We've gotten hundreds of signatures, And practically everybody who stops by our tent is signing, saying, what more can I do? Tell me who to call. It's literally 99 out of 100 coming by our tent today are saying, yes, I believe in this.
Right.
And I can't believe our politicians are not standing up for us.
Right.
So it's been called an emotional issue, and the good thing about emotional issues are those are the stickler issues that people vote for. So people who are not supportive of this are not going to have voter support next time around.
Okay. Okay.
And we also like to let the average Joe know that getting involved in this is as easy as ordering a pizza. All you have to do is pick up the phone, call your legislator's office, and tell them you want a right to know and want meaningful legislation and to pass a better bill.
So this means all of our food needs to be labeled better.
80% of the food in the grocery stores now is genetically engineered.
Really?
So what we're trying to get labeled is all packaged food and produce that comes into the supermarkets. And we had some really good chances this year, and unfortunately special interest groups came in and took over.
Really?
And the citizens' right was overrun.
So can we trust when something is labeled organic? We should be buying more of that, or
I eat 100% organic now. I know it costs a little bit more, but I don't want to let my health fail. I personally have an autoimmune illness, and when I clean all GMOs out of my diet, I don't have any pain.
okay,
When I start adding in extra GMOs by accident or through cross-contamination, then I start having symptoms again.
okay,
The same issue for people with gastrointestinal disorders is being reported. Children with food allergies, their parents clean up their diet, remove GMOs, and their symptoms improve dramatically. At least that's what's being reported by people.
okay. So people should just eat all organic food.
Sustainable food system is really the best way we're going to save our planet. Right now we are just completely overrunning our fields with massive amounts of pesticides. The lies that have been put forward by the industry were that it would reduce the amount of pesticides and herbicides, but that is absolutely not true. We're ramping up how much chemicals we're putting into our environment. Because glyphosate, the ingredient in Roundup that has been sprayed on our crops for the past 20 years, is now causing plants to be resistant to this herbicide. The next step of chemicals that is trying to get approval to be introduced is one of the active ingredients of Agent Orange.
Wow.
So who wants 2,4-D, the active ingredient of Agent Orange, spread on their food?
Exactly.
Yeah. And right now we have 9 crops that are genetically engineered. We're on the cusp of having genetically engineered salmon approved, and then there's a pipeline of a dozen other products that are being developed in laboratories. So,
I think people aren't even aware of the problem.
you know, the average consumer is trying to pay their bills and get their kids to where they need to be, and just basically have a little bit of free time after a long days of work.
Yeah.
And it's a really easy process to get familiarized with this.
Yeah.
You can go to our website, www.foodandwaterwatch.org, and on it we have a whole slew of fact sheets and information that can bring people up to date.
Okay.
And
just call their legislature.
call their legislators. And for the people who aren't really familiar with what a GMO is, it stands for genetically modified organism. And about 20 years ago, scientists brought into our commercial agriculture crops that can be sprayed with the active ingredient of Roundup, the same chemical that kills weeds in your gardens. They genetically engineered and changed the DNA of certain crops so that they can be sprayed with Roundup. And now we're finding that that chemical residue is making its way into our food supply and into our bodies. And then a second way they genetically engineered crops was to change the DNA of the crops. They added a toxin called BT, and this bacteria allows the crop to grow. While it's growing, it's producing its own pesticide, BT toxin, and when a bug takes a bite of that crop, its stomach explodes and it dies. And initially when this came under approval by the FDA and by the USDA, we were told that human beings don't have any problems, they'll never be affected by this. However, the studies that were submitted to the FDA were lasting only a period of 6 to 12 weeks maximum. All the studies were done by the companies that manufacture the chemicals in these genetically engineered crops. So the data and the research was really quite a corrupted process. It's, people who have examined the data are just appalled that this is what was accepted for approval.
Really?
FDA scientists urged their superiors not to approve these products until further study, long-term study could be done. And unfortunately, they were ignored, and this was fast-tracked through.
Oh,
And now we're starting to have issues. And the industry talking points that genetically engineered crops are going to feed the world, that they make food less expensive, that they are better for the farmer are just not holding true. And we are just decimating our planet with these chemicals and these crops. And it's not just food. People will be surprised to know that the Bt toxin that's already been incorporated into cotton for cottonseed oil and into corn is also being engineered into trees. So forests of trees are now being test planted. And just think about that. You know, right now it's May. We've all been dusting our house for the past couple of weeks, and we've been cleaning all that yellow and green pollen out of our houses. Our pets are coming in covered with it. Just imagine pollen that's filled with Bt toxin getting out into our environment. It's just beyond normal, sane, rational behavior.
Time to put an end to it.
It is time to put an end. It's time for citizens to stand up and let their legislators know they want to have labeling on their food, and they want our environment to have better stewardship.
Great. So once again, people can look at your website.
They can. They can go to foodandwaterwatch.org. They can also like us on Facebook, Food and Water Watch Connecticut, and educate yourself, get involved, and pick up the phone and call your legislator.
Great. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your time. Appreciate it.
Bassett Farmstead, we're based in Glastonbury. We have 85 acres there. We make all our own canned goods only from the produce on our farm. We have 350 free-range chickens, and we have 85 acres of produce that we sell at the Wethersfield Farmers Market.
Great. So you make all of this jelly?
Yes, jelly, relish, and applesauce.
Great.
We had a lot more produce today, but we sold out.
Yeah, it's been a good day, huh?
Yeah, and we had 30 dozen eggs we sold out of as well. So.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
I actually designed the gloves. I gardened professionally when I was in my 20s, and my friends and I used to go to thrift shops and buy old dress gloves. So my classic glove is based on a dress glove design, but using a modern supplex nylon lycra spandex blend. Breathable fabric, but the tight knit keeps the dirt out so nails stay clean. Throw them in the wash, throw them in the dryer. So windy today.
Yes.
Here in Wethersfield.
And you've had a good day here at the heirloom?
It's really fun.
Great.
Thankfully it's not raining.
Yes. As you're holding down your tent.
Yes, holding down my
Great. Thank you.
Almost there, young lady, almost. Let me tell you.
Wow, I love that little thing that you're using. Wow, I've never seen one that little.
It's they use it like for like hobby guys will use it or something. But it's just like a small hand plane.
Oh, okay. Interesting. So this is your business?
This is what I do. Yeah. I'm a carpenter by trade, but I do the woodworking on like for these reenactment things.
Oh yeah. Oh.
So I make chairs also for a living.
Wow. How long does it take you to make one of those chairs?
My average about 35 hours or so, depending on the chair. I have some that I can do like in 25 hours or so, and then I have a couple that take about 40 hours.
Wow. A lot of love going into that, huh?
That's a lot of fun.
Yeah. Where'd you learn how to do that?
I took a couple classes at a school in New Hampshire that specializes in chair making.
Oh.
And then, since then I kind of, just got the idea how a chair goes together.
Uh-huh.
I've changed a few things here and there.
Wow. Nice job. What's the name of your business?
It's a wood shop.
Okay.
I am James Easton.
And you live here in Wethersfield?
No, ma'am, I don't. I live in North Wyndham. I start with the University of Connecticut.
So I plug the hole. I picked up those.
About each year we do this show. We enjoy it very much.
Yeah.
And we represent the 1800s. I'm not the 1800s, the American Revolution.
Great. Great. Are those brooms that you make?
That's correct, ma'am. This broom, this will be a hearth broom. Over here, you have a full-size one. It's all one piece of wood.
Really?
Made with one stroke of a knife.
Really?
Yes, ma'am.
I've never seen those before. So you're...
Most people don't. They haven't. It's the thing they would use during that time period. And then they would kill them. It was a winter activity mostly.
Huh?
And when they had enough of them, they would bring them to the market. The market would buy them
Ah,
for 1 penny a piece.
really?
Really. And then they would ship them to England to be used in England.
Jeez, all that work, huh? Where did you learn to do that?
My ancestors built ships for the King of England.
Uh-huh.
I've had ancestors that fought in the American Revolution as well.
Really?
It's all documented fact. It was in me. So one day I decided, I was very interested. And I began. I'm self-taught, still learning.
Yeah.
I find it fascinating.
Great.
Thank you.
They're great. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Have you carved these things too?
All of this and a great deal more. Some of it is now I sold to table. Let me just straighten out the line here. There we go.
Very nice.
We have butter stamps.
Butter stamps.
Yes.
Neat. Do you make butter?
No,
Just the stamps. That's
just
enough.
the stamps.
I love your ducks.
Thank you, ma'am. That lion does not want to
Yeah.
stay upright.
Yeah, this wind.
Well, it's
Oh, everything's falling. Wow, and is that St. Francis?
The St. Francis. This in German is called the Woodzemann.
Uh-huh.
Then we have, of course, decoys, hunting decoys, walking sticks.
Wow.
Gosh, all sorts of things I've done. Never
Very
seem to
nice.
get enough of this.
Yeah, huh? Good.
Thank you, ma'am.
My name is Rick Hamlin. I'm a redware potter from Warren, Massachusetts. Company's Pied Potter Hamlin and Kalina Reproductions. Redware pottery, like what I make here, initially started in Massachusetts in the 1630s in Salem, but a potter from Watertown was one of the original founders of Wethersfield.
Really?
And is one of the signers of the document forming Wethersfield. And Wethersfield history is also, going back in the early 17th century, redware history as well.
Wow.
The odd thing is that he returned to Watertown, and then he moved to England, and there's a lot of money in the bank out there. If you can prove you're the descendant, then you can get the money, and if you look on Ancestry.com, no one's been able to collect it.
Really? What's the name again?
I can't remember the name of the guy.
Oh.
It's either Hall or, I'll have to look it up, I forgot.
Okay. So he's a Wethersfield?
He's one of the founding fathers.
Really? Good to know.
Signed a charter.
Okay.
That's what he did.
And you make your pottery?
I make my pottery out of Massachusetts and other clays. I blend my own clays, make my own glazes, and like I said, we're up in Warren, Mass, and they're all functional and lead-free. Some are based like this one on very early shapes. This is South Danvers, what would be called the Southwick glaze. It's a Southwick form, it's 1780s. Other pieces, like my wife's, very new in style in some cases, so it's our new product. But then you also have others that borrow from Pennsylvania patterns, like this one here, which is an old Pennsylvania design.
Right, right.
So we do a little bit of everything.
And everything is in the brown and tan
We
color?
do, brown, tan, red. We do some greens. I didn't bring any greens with me, but
Okay.
and variations of the slip colors. Redware, it's called redware, but there are several different colors that were being made.
Very nice.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Buy me a flute, any combat shoes, tailgates and substitutes. Strap yourself to the tree with roots, you ain't going nowhere. Ooh, ride me high, tomorrow's the day, my bride's gonna come. Oh, we gonna fly down in the easy chair. All his hands supplied with sheep. I'll climb